Um, and
Morning, Bill.
Morning, Phil.
Morning, David.
Good morning, Bill. And Bill,
Yes.
I got all your messages, Bill. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if that works out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You never know.
I had to look pretty hard to find a DVD player to plug into my computer. It doesn't come out very often.
Well, I still have one connected, so um, it's not so hard for me. But it's I know everybody doesn't have them.
Yeah, yeah. I actually still have a floppy disk drive that I can plug into my computer. Um,
Uh-huh. Wow.
and have some of those things which the kids used in college, but they've never asked for them.
Well, I copied a lot of um, stuff that I had um, on tape even, and
Mhm.
onto discs so that I could go back and look at them because I had some things of very old. I have somewhere I found a whole series of very old, early 20th century videos of Tai Chi masters in China.
Oh, really? Wow.
Uh, and that was on, what was that on? That was on tape, I think. And I put it on disc just in order to save it. So I still have a disc player so I can look at these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know where the ladies are. They're, I presume since they're not asking to join us that they must be on the way.
Yeah. Must some little traffic delay or something. They're pretty
Oh,
punctual generally,
do
more
they
so
come
than
on
me.
82?
Well, I let's see. No, no, uh, but I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, because 82 has the delay because of that
Yeah.
resurfacing. Yeah.
Yeah, we ran into that yesterday. Uh, um, but I know elsewhere on 82, there is often delays between here and Norwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I have to say, Joanne has a tendency, um, because she's so busy, to not be able to always be as punctual as she would like to be. So I am recording,
Okay.
but I haven't done that yet. Okay. Um, so I guess maybe we'll go ahead and start, um, and hopefully they'll appear one way or another.
Okay. Makes sense at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a little dark in that. Oh, there comes some light.
I'm moving.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't have the other light here because
Uh,
um, this is one of those days when my camera isn't working and I don't know why.
mm,
So it comes and goes whenever it wants to. The
I
ladies have
I
just
hear,
arrived.
yeah, female voices.
Yes. Female voices, yes.
Female voices, sorry, we were both a little late, and then there's work on the road. David,
Yes.
I'm going to do this check before I tell you. Okay.
Oh,
There's work
thank
on
you.
the road, and it.
Yes.
You just sit there.
Yep.
You wait.
That happened to us yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to go back. Carol's going to venture through the woods this time.
There's a number of ways to get there. Good morning, Carol.
Morning, morning.
Morning.
Guys. Morning. All right, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Breathe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't. It wasn't like, oh my god, we have to rush. It's like we have to just get there.
Well,
Nothing really you can do.
no, it's kind of like they they called us yesterday and said um, your cabinets are coming in earlier than expected. We're going to start on your kitchen Monday, and we weren't expecting them for 4 to 6 weeks.
Oops.
Oh, well, that's a nice change.
It's a
Not
nice,
that
a nice change, but we are in panic mode.
Right.
Clearing everything out of your kitchen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rearranging everything in order to somehow fit and live here. So, anyway,
So what are you doing to your kitchen?
everything.
Okay.
Even the floor,
Wow.
which is dying. It's a great tile floor. I put it in when we built the house. But it's going. So, no, I'm being literal about that. Not any new
Appliances.
appliances because they're all in good shape. Or actually, the refrigerator is practically new. So we don't have to do appliances, but where everything is coming out and new cabinets, new counter.
When did you build a house?
31 years ago, we completed. And so it's done pretty well because unfortunately when they built the house, the guys who did our kitchen, it wasn't the best things. The cabinets are not very good. They're not completely falling apart yet, but they're working on it.
You don't put the heavy plates in that cabinet.
Right, you got it. You
The
got
shelf
it.
looks like this.
So we're looking forward to a major change, but anyway, onward and upward.
Onward. And we're recording.
We are. So, questions, reports, failures, successes.
Challenges.
How's your practice going? Are you practicing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
more.
well, I've had a good week of practice, I feel, and it's been I've done it pretty much at the same time of the day every day, which is unusual to have a week of doing it that way.
Great.
Great. Good. So did that raise any questions?
I always have questions that they're mostly at this point more rhetorical. And I'll go back and work on a particular posture or something. But the one that I still, um, I guess it's 5, is the one at the bottom, and keep transitioning into 5 and having enough, yin to get down and have my arms up before coming out, and how to bring the arms out and keep and at one point you said bring them down more rather than up, making it look like uh, two. But so that was one that I was particularly focused on, and I'm not sure that I really am that you know the other ones I can self-correct better than that one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, 5 is I don't know, interesting enough, at least to me. Uh, when I was first working on this, I think 5 was perhaps the most difficult posture for me. Until I got to 7, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
so that was to make you all feel good.
This was after you hit 3, though.
Yeah, yeah, that was
That's
three
Yeah.
wasn't so bad. So the 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 thing to be aware of with 5, I think, is that you have to find how you make those 2 transitions. And one is when you come down the side channels to the qua and begin to twist in and come up. And then where do you go out? And that really we're trying actually to raise the energy to the crown of the head, but maybe you can't do that yet. And so one of the things you have to be aware of is where are you actually now moving the energy to? And it doesn't matter if you're only coming to here, that's as high as you can move it at the moment up your central channel. Then you have to make the transition
There.
and send the energy out, and then begin to bring it back in, down and through the qua, into the dantian, and up the central channel.
So in a practice,
Mm-hmm.
you could, as you maybe at each time being able to raise it more,
Yeah,
then you just kind of
absolutely. You should not just be doing a repetition of
of the same
movements,
things, right?
because actually it probably will be different each time you do it. Certainly each time you practice, and
Right.
and
Yep.
really each time you do the movement. At least eventually. That may not be the case to begin with, but at the beginning we have to focus on the physical movement. But now the physical movement is directly related to the energetic awareness that you have. So, did that help, Bill?
Yeah, talk a minute about transitioning into it from 4.
From 4. Oh,
4 to 5.
okay.
4 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, that's, well, okay. So you're talking about condensing.
Yes. I feel condensed when I get to the bottom of 4, and then you need to do more.
Like transition, yeah.
So, one of the things when you're condensing is not to think that that means a large movement physically. You're talking about condensing the energy. And actually, eventually, the movement of 5 and 6 is clearly smaller than that of 2, 3, and 4. I'm sorry, what I left out of that is really I'm talking about the movement of the body.
Mhm.
So the condensing has to take place in the body. So when you get to here and you've completed 4, and assuming you've gotten the energy to the crown of your head,
Yeah.
as you're going into 5, you may not have very much physical movement. You could be condensing as you come down, and I'm slowing it way down, but maybe you may be moving more quickly. But there come a point where you realize that you've pulled the energy into your qua, and you can begin. I'm sorry, into your into your dantian, and you can begin to move it back up, because you with 4 you have it going up the side channels and down the center, and then of all things it turns around and goes back up the central channel. So that transition is really hard because you're not moving from one channel to another. You're making that transition within the same channel.
And your body is doing the opposite of what you've just been doing.
Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
so that your body's going down and your energy is going up. But
Absolutely. Which is part of how you make the transition.
yeah.
So when you're doing 4, like when you're doing 4, 4, 4, 4, and then when you go into the transition 4 to 5, are you going as low with your hands before you start coming back? Is the finishing of 4 different in the transition than it is when you're doing 4, 4?
So where your hands go has to do with where the energy goes, not where your
Right.
hands go. One of the
So you-
one of the things we're trying to get past is thinking about the physical movement and feeling the energetic movement driving the physical movement.
Hmm.
So it could be anywhere, just about literally, because what you have happening at the end of 4 is first the condensing. And the movement of the hands and arms, if talking about the movement, is the same as what you've done before with 4, but its intention is to bring the energy down to the dantian, where you can make the transition to bring it up. Did that answer your question? Not
Um,
really.
Yeah, well, yeah, it gives me another piece there. So I think I'm going lower. I think I'm, if I'm keeping on doing four to four to four to four, then when I do 4 to 5, I'm still condensing in as I bring from the Dantian to the middle Dantian and hopefully higher. Um,
Well,
that's all
well,
still
with four, so just to be clear about this, with you doing four, you're bringing the energy up the side channels and down the center channel, right? Doing
right.
four. And you're transitioning from the Dantian to the Kwa and up. And now you want to go to five, so you begin to condense. And you condense that energy and you bring it down the center to your Dantian, and it just arrived at my Dantian.
Hmm.
So I would begin to do five. And so
Okay.
one of the things that happens in the transition is that you sink further in the transition from 4 to 5 than you do from 5 to 5.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm
And
saying?
also you don't you have you don't the twisting in goes to a different place from 4 4 versus 4 5. I mean, you still got more twisting in to do.
It doesn't go to a different place. The energy does not go to a different
I'm
place.
not, yeah, I'm talking, I guess I am thinking about the physical,
Yeah.
you know.
So you, the arms, one of the things is that you will find that you have a subtle variation of where the transitions are in every movement, every time you do it, once you become really, really aware and present with what's happening with the energy, which is our aim. I'm not saying you should be there now.
Mhm.
So you have to go through a transition of, okay, this is the physical movement. I know what the physical movement should be. I've got that. Okay. Now, can I feel the energy doing anything here? Do I feel it going out to the extent of my etheric body and coming up my side channels? Crown of the head and down the center. So each time you do it, it could be subtly different. And it may be in terms of the physical movement, it might be a fraction of an inch, or it may be a significant variation. So, um, I guess part of what I'm saying is don't get locked into the physical movement. You have to eventually make the transition to being aware of how your energy is moving.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm sort of feel like I'm at the point where when I have the physical movement and, all the different components we're talking about working is when I feel the energy. That if I do that, if I'm too much off or move too fast and then run out of twisting or run out of flexing my spine to the bow or straight, then the energy isn't working if I'm too far off physically. But I do it slowly and do it more quickly, and that's a whole different physical and energetic experience going through it and modulate that during the practice. But yeah,
So,
but what you did helps for uh, whatever my vague question was.
So what I would say to you is, it sounds to me like you are progressing appropriately, but you're really at a kind of critical place where you're making the transition from this is how I have to make the physical movement to, that's where the energy is, and I need to change now.
Mhm.
And that's where we're going. And
It's
it
growing pains.
growing pains, and it takes time. It takes and practice, and you're doing the practice. That's wonderful, but I think you just have to try to understand that we can't hope to get to what we would like to achieve yesterday the way we think about it in the West. This is just going to take a lot of practice over a long time, but you're making definite progress. So that's really encouraging. And you practice, which is encouraging. I don't know if that helps, but
No, that's good. Thank you.
yeah, no, that was good. Anyone else at the moment? Okay. So, I want to talk again about the cavities.
Mm. We haven't talked about cavities in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, and to begin to play with opening and closing the cavities, specifically those of the throat notch and the armpit. And I'm going to pause here for a moment. Do you know where the cavities, major cavities are in the body? Does anybody have any questions
I knew you
about
was
that?
gonna ask this.
What?
I knew you were gonna ask this.
You did.
Well, I think we've all got the armpits down.
Yeah. There is an armpit cavity, and it's very important.
It would not hurt us for you to go over that.
So, the major cavities, there is an ankle cavity, and the back of the knee, and the quad, and of course the dantian. There is a one at the perineum,
Mm-hmm.
the midriff. Since we've recently talked about it, the heart-mind is one of the most important cavities. The armpits. There are cavities at the elbows. Really, the wrists and the hands are energy gates rather than cavities. The throat notch, the jade pillow gate, which is the point where the spine and the head connect, spine and the skull connect. And there are some others in the brain and at byway. So there are a number of cavities. Some are much more important than others.
So at the shoulder, it's at the armpit, not at 1-1.
That's right, it's at the armpit, and we're going to look at where that is. It really is the armpit. It's not at this point, which is actually the first point on, or the second point on, I'm not saying the channel, doesn't matter. Right?
Okay.
We're talking about cavities at this point. So those are the major ones. But we're going to talk today really just about two of them. So cavities are something which is not within the normal thinking pattern of most people in the West. They're places inside your body which connect everything inside you. And the biggest thing is that when you push in on one of them physically, they just open up into some amorphous area. So the function of cavities in terms of circulating chi throughout the body is more primary than the joints. Actually, how well cavities move is directly tied to how well your joints move. And these areas are connectors of the chi and the fluid movements inside your body. They are great transference areas. So the way that all the energies in you, in your torso, go out through your arms and your elbows and wrists and fingers is through the cavity in your armpit. This gets very tricky because in the armpit there is both an energy gate and a cavity. And the cavity is actually in the middle of the armpit, but the energy gate is slightly forward of it. And most people are not aware of the cavity. And the cavity is the place where all the energy from your torso connects through to your fingertips. So it is a very important point. So people have all sorts of ways of feeling their cavities. As it gets to a higher level, it just seems like this viscous thing that has infinite expanding and contracting ability. What it will feel like to you, I can't really say. But what is very important is simply to realize that this is the juncture through which the energy of the body is going to express itself out to the fingers. But it is also the way the energy from the body is going to enter the arms and go into the internal organs. So if you're looking for strength, then that cavity being open is important in getting the energy moving out. But in terms of health or spirituality, the ability to have what you're doing with your arms go in and really open up your internal organs, that is what's important. Realize that if the energy of the organs doesn't pass the cavity, it also doesn't go fully up into the brain. And that's also another reason why the armpit cavity is really rather important. It is connected to your elbow because once it passes the armpit, it's going to go to your elbow. On the yang side of your body through the armpit, so that your elbow is connected to your spine. But from the yin side of your body, the pressure of whatever you're doing with this elbow goes into your internal organs. So this cavity is extremely important. Now, if we look at the throat notch is a real, interestingly, Bruce likes to call it a stinker. This is because of all the yoga chants and the fact that a lot of people talk about chakras in yoga and actually have no idea or personal experience in what they actually are. They only have an intellectual idea that they are supposed to be here or there, but they don't actually know, don't actually have any personal visceral experience of what they are. So the throat notch operates effectively like the fifth chakra does in yoga. And that's actually where it's located inside your body. Now the Chinese don't make a big deal of the yogis for the very simple reason that the fifth chakra in yoga is really about where sound and vibration are working inside the body. But the way the Chinese look at this is how you run energy inside you, and given the fact that within Taoism, although they had mantras and liturgies, they were in their spiritual practices in many ways as much dominated by mantras to create the vibrations which would link you into the higher stages of consciousness. When the Chinese, what the Chinese did, they did it to the lower Dantian. When the Chinese did it, they did it to the lower Dantian. They just used a different method of working with the same components or ingredients. But the biggest thing about the throat notch is that it modulates the human ability to make sound. And from a Taoist point of view, it does not clearly function on the ability to create vibrations inside the body, which is the case in yoga. The Taoists actually base that ability directly inside the spinal cord. So getting to the same place, but really doing it in a different way. So one of the big things that the throat notch cavity affects is your thyroid. The thyroid is slightly above the throat notch, but the actual energetics that feed the thyroid are actually down behind the bone. They consider this area is important because because of the way the collarbone can cross the energy from the left and right sides of your body. And that is because that is how to get sound across the left and right sides of your mind. So that is considered quite important. Now, where is your throat notch? And this is tricky, because if we go into the notch, where the throat notch cavity is, exactly between where it starts and where the spine is in the back. So it's actually in the middle between the 2 points. And I should mention that the pulsing of the armpit and the pulsing of the throat notch are a matched pair because each of them are the routes through which you get access to the brain. It's the gap between your sternum and your throat. So you have a simple issue here. We have to close and open. What are you doing with your arms? So, back to movement 5. Just looking at the arms, you're closing and you're opening and you're closing and you're opening. So when you close your arms, you close your throat notch. And when you open your arms, you open your throat notch. And I don't know if watching me do that can help you very much. But if we go back to actually doing the whole movement, this is clearly closing. And this is clearly opening. And closing. And opening. And so the throat notch has to also open and close with that movement. And this is clearly opening, and you're then opening the throat notch and closing the throat notch. And the next trick is going to be, can you do it with the armpits and at the same time? Here we only can do it a bit on the side, but there is one thing that you can try when they work for you. So stand up. Step out into your basic structure and just stand for a moment. You're aware of where you are and how it feels. Aware of your breath. Very importantly, extend your mind through your body. And then take a finger and push into the other armpit from below. So right into the middle of the armpit. And don't hold the arm way out in the air, but let it rest down a bit. And really push into the middle of your armpit. Keep the shoulder relaxed. So you see if you can begin to feel the cavity. And then what you're going to do is that keep the finger connected to the cavity and just move your elbow open and closed. And see if you can begin to feel what happens to the cavity. When you open, the finger should actually get pulled into the cavity and then pushed out. And as you do this, try to be aware of the elbow opening and closing. And then release that and bring your arms out in front of you. And use your arms, the elbows, to close and open. And see if you can feel that armpit cavity closing and opening. And open to being aware that this movement should be able to open and close all the joints of your body together. And your arms to close in, closing the joints of your body. And then open your arms. And open the joints of your body. And as you're doing this, begin to add opening and closing your quad. You will open your arms, open your quad. As you close your arms, close your quad and your armpit. then extend your mind a little more and open your armpit, your quad, and all the joints in your body. Try to feel the edge where you don't close too much and don't open too much. You're just getting a very steady pulsing within the cavities. So doing this exercise will, just as a transition before you begin the movements of gods, give you a good sense of what you're trying to do. The next time you close quad joints and armpit, make sure that you have added the throat notch. Sometimes doing a crane neck, just bending the neck slightly and straightening it slightly helps some people to get the throat notch and feel it better. As you're doing this, you're trying to arrive at a point where it seems as though the opening and closing of the cavities takes on a life of its own. We're going to go into doing movements 5 and 6, and we're not going to do anything different. When our arms bend, you close, and when your arms extend, you open. So start doing movement 5. Start with your hands around your quad level. And as you bend your arms, close your cavities and all your joints, and then open your arms. Open all your cavities and joints. close your arms, close your cavities and joints. Open your arms and open your cavities and joints. Try to be aware of where is the best place to change over between opening and closing. It's not going to always happen in the exact same physical spot. Each time it can change. There is a range of movement. So the question is, are the openings and closings working? And that's not determined by what or where your hands are. Because you could do it with your hands in various positions. One more thing, as you do this, really relax your eyes. Because opening and closing your cavities can become hypnotic. And you want to make sure that you can clearly see outside your eyes what's going on without going into some sort of foggy haze. And now really be aware all together, throat notch, quads, armpits, bending and straightening the spine. And it could be your choice, what's the leader? You can make the spine the leader, or the quad the leader. And for any reason you want to, you can make any other cavity in your body the leader. So feel the C curve going with the cavities and the joints. You may find that as you do this, it becomes easier to get your blood vessels to open and close. And that will come with practice. And it's hard to say how much practice. And then transition to movement 6. bend your arms, close your cavities in all your joints. And when you open your arms, open all your cavities and joints. Close arms, cavities, and joints. You're really open to where is the best place to do the transition, the changeover between opening and closing. Doesn't always happen in exactly the same spot. Make sure both the armpit and the throat notch cavities are opening and closing with the joints and the curving of the spine. And really relax your eyes so the movements don't become hypnotic. All together, throat notch, quad, armpit, bending and straightening the spine. And what is the leader here? Is it different than it was when you did 5? time you complete a movement, close. And you may sit whenever you want. So how was that?
Good. I found myself doing things before you reminded us to do them, or which is great.
That's fine.
And I think some of it is while we always, have the understanding of separation and combine, there's a point where you get to, you don't need to separate, or it just kind of naturally comes together, right? So that opening all of the cavities kind of at the same time. And at some point, maybe after about the third or fourth time, it's like, oh, I just felt the energy surge. I kind of felt like, oh, I've kind of got it.
Good. Yeah.
And tried to kind of, I didn't always have that same feeling throughout the whole, but through most of it, I think.
Good.
So I thought that was, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I still struggle a little with the timing to make sure my body doesn't go up too fast.
Yeah.
But that's it's an everyday struggle.
Anyone else?
Well, I have a question about relaxing the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I usually do this with my eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
Should they be open? And if they're open, they're not going to be relaxed for sure because they'll be watching.
They'd be darting around.
So
So it doesn't. I don't know. I mean, when they're closed, I don't know how to relax them or what I should be doing with the eyes. Okay, I'm confused.
don't be confused.
That's why we're here.
So it's quite appropriate, certainly in an exercise like this, as it is with meditation, to close in the earlier stages. The ideal is that eventually you are able to open your eyes and be aware of what's out there without it distracting you at all. And at that point, it's essential that your eyes be relaxed,
Yeah.
or you cannot do that. So there's nothing wrong with doing it with your eyes closed. Absolutely, that's where we begin. And that may be where you stay, or maybe it won't be. That's what's more more important here than whether you and have your eyes open and relaxed or not is what's happening inside your body.
Mhm.
So, not to put too much emphasis on the eyes.
Yeah, because if I open my eyes, I lose
Yeah,
a lot of the awareness of my body.
yeah.
Just,
Is that
It's like
everywhere? Is you experience that everywhere? But for example, I find it's easier to do it. It's harder to do it in a space I'm not in all the time, with so many things on the wall. For example, if I'm outside and I'm in a space I'm somewhat familiar with, it's easier. I mean, I think we have over the years really practiced,
Yep.
having our eyes open without focusing.
it's
I
about-
do find it situational sometimes, I guess is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it's a struggle. I understand the struggle because I'm like,
Absolutely, absolutely. Either Bill?
It was interesting to me. In both the exercise and when we went to the forum, when I felt that my joints and spaces were the most open, um, it was as if my body didn't exactly know what to do with that. um, I just felt loose and gangly and, kind of weird. But I just went with it. So I don't know what to make of that at this point, but that did happen, so.
And I think that's a positive thing, actually. Maybe a little hard to accept at first, but just as I said when you were doing the exercise, that when you really can get the cavities to cause the movement of the energy in your body, it has a kind of amorphous sense. It doesn't. It's not quite as concrete.
Yeah,
So I don't think that was necessarily bad, Bill.
okay.
But it is, you're quite right that at first that's disturbing. Because we're so tied to our mind and our thinking that recognizing that we can move beyond that is at first is disorienting.
Yeah.
Mr. Bynum? Or did he have to leave?
No, you're muted. Bill, you're muted.
Still muted.
Yeah, the idea of what's leading and noticing that was a good prompt. But for me, having the scapula leading helped a lot with awareness of the opening of the in the throat and the armpits. And that was working really well for a while, but then the ultimately having the spine leading for me was the smoothest and most natural uh, thing and required less thought. So
Good.
um,
Great. Well, I hope you'll play with this week. As I said, doing a bit of this before you do your God's practice can help really open up the God's practice.
The throat notch is deeper inside than you can't touch it.
it's not just
No.
the bone.
It's in the
Indentation.
middle of the.
That's why, because when you were first talking about connecting to the spine, I was like, what? No, because I was thinking of it as further in the front than in the middle. Like, where's the
No, it's really,
It still doesn't.
you really can't touch the throat notch the way you can touch the armpit.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
I like the Dantian.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Have
See
a
you
good
guys
one.
next week.
Yep,
Yeah.
have a good one.
Hopefully.
Thanks. We will. If we survive the weekend,
Yeah, right.
we'll.
There's always that.
I have George Hoffman coming tomorrow with 3 tables, folding tables to use. So,
So where are you going to put them?
in the living room, believe it or not.
It just kind of move things around.
Well, we don't have to move. They'll move the appliances for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We
You got to empty out all the cabinets.
we have to empty all the cabinets and move everything else that's in the way, and plan for how to plug things in, and blah blah blah.
Mm.
Your island is not built in.
It's on wheels. Yeah.
So that just move. You
Yeah.
just wheel over and everything that's on
Yeah.
there can stay there.
Yeah, but we've got all those pots hanging on a rack above. We've got enough to do.
You got a lot to do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about it than Jane is,
Mhm.
but
I suspect kitchen is more her area than yours. Maybe not. I don't
Yeah,
know what
it-
you're cooking.
yeah, I have good cooking skills, but my eyes get in the way now a bit. I do have somebody coming later this morning who may buy the china cupboard and the matching low in our dining room, which will help to create some space.
But then you have to empty that out.
I already have.
Oh, okay.
That's done.
That's a hint. Yeah. There's.
That happened yesterday. I am a pretty good planner.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just some things that, you know, I don't know. I mean, whether what I have in mind, those guys will be.
Right.
But they're apparently this week is all destruction.
Right. Yeah, and that's always that in between stage is always worse than
Yeah,
what you're living with and what you'll get.
and when you know
It's
we
the
have-
transitions. It's always the transitions.
we had planned. We have both of our boys coming. Dylan with a girlfriend for 3 days, and then Zach with his wife for 4. And they're coming at the end of August because we
gosh.
thought that would be before.
Oh, because you were still waiting for the 4 to 5 week. Ay.
Yeah. So
And you have a tenant, right? So you can't use that space.
I can't use that space. I wouldn't want to carry everything over there, but we could
No.
sleep over there.
Mm.
Well,
Well, it shouldn't affect the sleeping too much.
no, the second floor is not affected, and well, we have to move some furniture around a bit. We're going to keep the little room pretty stable, so we can.
Mhm. Is that?
Be able to be in there and not.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a space.
Yeah,
You can't fill it all.
but I hadn't realized, but Monday is the Monday that Zach and Hannah will be here is Labor Day. So
First, it's an odd time
yeah,
because it's the first Monday.
Yeah,
The
it's
first
the very
Monday is the
first.
first Monday. So
Yeah.
it kind of comes quicker than you think.
Yeah, so,
Quicker than I thought, certainly.
so actually, I'm presuming they will not work on that day,
Mhm.
so, that will make it a lot easier.
Mhm.
Well, that's another couple of weeks away, so that they may have all the demolition done.
Oh, I
And
think
they should be all done with that.
supposedly the demolition will be done in a week.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's gonna take so long to do the rest of it, but,
How long do they think?
well,
it'll take to
they're saying
end it?
4 to 6 weeks.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
You'd think a couple of weeks for all of this, wouldn't you? Why even a week of demolition?
well,
I don't know. I mean,
Well-
we haven't, look, we moved into a house in 1980. The house had been redone or a little bit in 1970, and it still has. We actually have somebody coming on Friday to kind of look at things because
yeah.
the kids are really like, you've got to make this more accessible so that if you
Mhm.
need it more accessible, we can't do the stairs. Then we can't be saying, gee, we should have put that shower in downstairs.
Oh,
You know, so we've got a
Right.
friend coming who kind of can help us visualize what's possible. But
Yeah.
yeah, but our cabinets are
well, we did,
crumbling on their own.
so are ours.
Yeah.
So that's part of why we put the shower in down here.
Yes. Yeah.
Because-
No. That's very. Yeah.
Um,
And where do we put the washer? Our washer died, so we've been going to the laundromat for like 3 months. But
We-
I don't want to put anything in until we have a sense of what's happening. I don't want to go buy something and it's
And
like,
then
oh,
realize,
it's
that's
an
not
inch
gonna fit.
too wide for what we want to do or whatever. Yeah.
Also, I don't know whether you noticed, the LG that we have upstairs is a one-piece.
Yeah, it's one piece washer and dryer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it works very well. And it was highly rated by Consumer Reports.
Yeah, and I like LG appliances. I've
Yeah,
had
I
them
do too.
before, yeah. Yeah, we should
Anyway,
think about all of
That's
that.
not why we're here.
No, I know.
Sorry.
But sometimes
It's
just
very
not-
much on my mind. I'm sorry.
Well, it's hard not to. Yeah, it's hard to make that space.
Yeah.
Because, basically you'd be camping out.
Yeah.
Right, having to deal with meals when you don't really know.
Well, fortunately, I think we'll still be able to grill,
Well, I was going to say, grill. Yeah.
and we, of course, have the microwave, and they provide a hot plate.
Uh huh.
So,
So there's some, and it's summer, so some
Yeah.
simpler foods that.
and we have a electrical pot that heats the water for
Oh.
coffee and
Oh, yeah.
tea. So that's good. We'll
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah. Think of it as like camping.
Yes.
But you still have a good bed.
I did a lot of camping in my youth. I
I
just
don't mind camping. It's the sleeping that I can't do a mat on the ground
you
anymore.
can't.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking how I did a very thin air mattress on stone in the cave I was in
Well,
China
in China.
for a week, and I felt I slept
Slept like
really well, but the energy was so huge
Intense in
and
that.
positive in that cave. It was just, oh, God.
I have slept on church pews at demonstrations in Washington
Oh, yeah.
more times than I could count.
Yeah.
It is not coming down because for one, they're not very big, and so you have to kind of always find what is that way on your side.
Yeah.
Kind of don't roll off.
How
And find the ones with the padding. Where's the
yeah,
padding?
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Anyway,
So, form questions that have come up this week, if any.
despite my excitement of during vacation getting through the whole thing and thinking that's where I was going, I only concentrated kind of a grasping sparrow's tail and just really good yeah, just the first few maybe. But actually, kind of doing the whole first paragraph, I guess, to some degree, but just really slowing it down.
Yeah, good.
Because I think that's just really been
Yeah.
going too fast. And it's like, oh, what was that energy? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have questions.
Okay.
I think I kind of felt like, yeah, I mean, I didn't get practiced I didn't get practiced every day. Carol and I were talking about, going to memorials on Saturday on the way here. And we were helping with the food for one of them, and it's 2.5 hours away. So suddenly your plans for the week are thrown into disarray as you're on the phone going, who's got the email from 3 years ago when her husband died? We kind of did the same thing, and we don't have to start from scratch. And luckily, it's like, this is how you suddenly are spending your time, Joanne. But it's for the family. I mean, that's
Yeah.
okay. But
Oh, this is.
But
Sorry.
it's a long time Catholic Peace Fellowship folks that I've known since the
Mhm.
70s, and it's both of them have just passed in the last 3 years.
Oh wow.
But they're both in their 80s. So,
Yeah.
but it just kind of means what happened to that practice when somebody's like, can I talk to you at 8:00 this morning? Okay, I'll practice right after.
Yeah. It's.
It happened a couple of days, but it happened so enough for me to kind of go, okay, yeah, I think I'm feeling it better, because I think I always felt like when we would do doing it, but Carol, you were always like, I feel like Carol's doing more than me, but she's slower too, and I think in the
Easy
last.
for anyone to say I'm slower.
But I think thanks to the last 3 or 4 classes, I've kind of gone, okay, yeah, this is why, and
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been just basically the Wu Chu to do the grasping sparrow's tail on both sides, and well, I haven't succeeded in being consistent. Just realizing, okay, the left side feels pretty good, and the right side, sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's
that's
really,
funny, because mine are the opposite. Was that right?
they were-
By the time I got to get to the left, I'm
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm warmed up by the time to get to the left.
like, oh, that's a good
But I'm
point.
doing
And
it
my
back and
beginning's
forth.
been bad. I went back and saw David correcting me on the recording several times. But that's what I need. That's why the recording is so helpful.
Yeah. So. Did
And
you?
as soon as we have our coffee,
I'm still
we'll show you.
working on it.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
more an awareness thing
Mm-hmm.
that just sometimes I'm more conscious, and sometimes I'm not.
It's an awareness without overthinking.
You know.
Yeah.
That's my challenge, because I can get into the overthinking piece, and then I'm
And then
overthinking.
Yeah.
And then you stop and it's jerky.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, when I worked on that, I would get the first 2 grasping sparrow tail really great, and then it would disappear.
For the rest
So
of
And
the
that's
rest of
just
the
the
form.
form.
Yep.
So I understand.
Yeah.
And it is a matter of practice. My thought was to, if not today, at some point to sort of really focus on refining what you're doing. We kind of started that with grasping the sparrow's tail.
So you mean refining
beginning.
that throughout
Yeah,
continuing to
other
go on?
postures,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many times do we do this over the course of? Many.
Many.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just observing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, which is always a good place to be,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you feel like, oh, well, I've got a foundation that I'm.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like with gods, it's like, oh, I'm already opening and closing all those cavities, because I don't want to I don't want to compartmentalize my body.
And then are you opening and closing them in the form?
Okay, well, yes and no. I have a new awareness as of this morning. So I have to, as I'm slow, as I go slowly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the armpits we have focused on so much. I think the crane's neck is, that was kind of the first thing I thought of in terms of just kind of that helpfulness of,
It really does.
yeah, of the throat notch, and especially when you think of it being not just here.
That is his right spot.
Right, exactly. Which we could just kind of feel. It was interesting feeling the armpit though, because you can feel it.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Though I probably should have felt the other armpit. Well,
If different.
because this arm has been giving me a lot of trouble
Oh,
of recent, and that's. I started off with the other side, but it didn't work so well. But then this armpit was running everything.
they are a little different, aren't they? I hadn't even tried that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello? This is David.
Yeah, they are a little different.
Hi, good.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'll be up in a moment. I teach Tai Chi and have been doing a class downstairs. But no, that's fine. I'll be right up.
It's
No
quite
problem.
Yeah.
I left my watch at home.
So
This
I
is
guess
the-
class is over.
Class is over. He's at the side door upstairs.
Oh, is this
So-
your cabinet guy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
So-
I am gonna run and use your bathroom. But
Well, that's all right.
he's not trying to buy your bathroom, right? Just a cabinet.
Yeah.
Open the door while you're there.
I can open the door. I'll